6:35 p.m. And I am going to call the regular meeting of the Kaneland Board of Education to order. We'd like to inform all board meeting attendees that this meeting is being live streamed and archived for access at any time by our community members on the internet within 24 to 48 hours of the meeting's conclusion. And Mr. McCall, if you do the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And roll call, please.
Mr. Mankivsky.
Here.
Mr. Kleisner.
Here.
Mr. Cook.
Here.
Dr. Lawler.
Here.
Mr. McCauley.
Here.
Mrs. Simmons.
Here.
Mr. Stolka.
Here.
With 7 members present, we have a quorum. It is now 6:36 p.m. and we will adjourn to the Board of Education is scheduled for a closed session at the beginning of the meeting tonight to discuss Illinois Open Meetings Act, Section 2, Sub C, Sub 11, where we do not anticipate action to be taken following the closed session. Once the closed session is concluded, the recording will resume for the open part of the Board of Education meeting. I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session at 6:37 p.m.
So moved. Second.
And a roll call.
Mr. Kleisner.
Aye.
Mrs. Simmons.
Aye.
Mr. Cook.
Aye.
Dr. Lawler.
Aye.
Mr. Stolka.
Aye.
Mr. McCauley.
Aye.
Mr. Mankivsky.
Aye. Motion carries 7-0. We are going into closed session and we are going to.
We're going to go right around the corner
Okay.
into a classroom.
meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Kaneland Board of Education. We would like to inform all board meeting attendees that this meeting is being live streamed and archived for access at any time by our community members on the internet within 24 to 48 hours of the meeting's conclusion. Pledge again.
No, we jumped to, go to the second page.
All right. Is there anything that the board would like to move from consent to new business? All right, seeing none, a motion to approve the consent agenda as listed.
So moved.
Second.
And a roll call, please.
Mr. Kleisner.
Aye.
Mrs. Simmons.
Aye.
Mr. Cook.
Aye.
Mr. McCauley.
Aye.
Dr. Lawler.
Aye.
Mr. Stallcup.
Aye.
Mr. Mankowski.
Aye, motion carries 7-0. The agenda is approved. It is now time for board and superintendent salutes. I will turn it over to Dr. Rowland.
Well, we have a lot of them tonight, a lot of things to celebrate. So why don't we start with our Skills USA students, and Mr. Gosh will introduce that group.
Good evening. I'm Mr. Gosh, Director of the Fox Valley Career Center. So just provide some highlights here. We had 27 participants go down to Peoria, Illinois, and they participated in Skills USA. So this is our state level competition for career and technical education. Those 27 students were from representatives of all of our sending school districts. I have some Kaneland representatives up here. The format varies based on the event. They participated in 8 events, from everything from welding fabrication as a team, crime scene investigation as a team, to individual events such as electrical, construction, wiring, and HVAC. Some highlights that I'd like to share with the Kaneland board here is that we had an all-women's welding fabrication team on the first day, so they went down and competed down there, which is unique, especially given the field. 10 of our 27 students that participated finished in the top half of their event. 5 of those 27 finished in the top quarter, or the top 25% of them. And I would highlight Mr. Hansen, who's here with us tonight. He had a clean sweep in electrical, construction, wiring, so they swept the podium first, second, third place. We had a first place champion in HVAC, who's with us here tonight, Noah Witz. Those 2 first place finishers will actually be competing in nationals next week in Georgia to represent Fox Valley Career Center. So we're very excited about that for the 2 state champs and overall how well our students did. But enough with me talking about Skills USA, because I know the people up here will be able to explain it a lot better than I can and how they participated. I have Alina Padavana, who participated in a team crime scene investigation, Ava DeWig, she competed in interactive preschool display, and Noah Witz, our state champion in HVAC. So.
Good evening. My name is Noah, and I'm honored to speak on behalf of Skills USA and Fox Valley Career Center. Being involved in Skills USA through the Fox Valley Career Center has been one of the most impactful experiences through my high school career. Skills USA is much more than just competitions to us as students. It helps students develop leadership, professionalism, communication, teamwork, and technical skills that prepare us for life after high school. I first started at Fox Valley Career Center last year in the Electrical 1 program, where I also competed last year in the residential wiring. I got 6th place last year. We also had another state champion last year. But through that class, I learned residential wiring, low voltage systems, electrical safety, and hands-on technical skills that gave me experience far beyond what a normal classroom could offer. That experience pushed me to compete last year, and that really helped me this year do my 2nd year of electrical. Fox Valley Career Center provides students from multiple local school districts with the opportunity to explore career and technical education in a hands-on environment. Students are able to train with programs like HVAC, electrical, automotive, welding, fire science, and health occupations, while using industry standard tools and equipment. Fox Valley Career Centers give students a chance to discover career paths early and build real-world skills and prepare them for employment, apprenticeships, or further education after high school. None of these opportunities would be possible without the Fox Valley Career Center, my instructors, and the support of our schools and community. The teachers and advisors there invest a great deal of time and money into helping students succeed, not just in competition, but preparing us for real careers. Skills also teaches us students how to carry ourselves professionally and confidently beyond our technical knowledge. We also learn leadership, problem solving, time management, and how to represent our schools and communities with pride. This is incredibly valuable because I'm able to get a very high-paying job right out of high school in HVAC. I have already set up apprenticeships with at least one company. I already went there for 2 job shadows, Anderson Plumbing and Heating. I went there during my school days with permission from Fox Valley to learn more about their company and how I can use my skills, and I believe I really excelled there, and they really liked what I had to offer. I'm extremely grateful for everything Fox Valley Career Center and Kaneland have provided me, and I hope more students continue to take advantage of the opportunities.
Hello, my name is Ava DeWig, and I competed in the preschool interactive board. I was in Foundations of Education 1. I'm a junior, so I'm taking it again next year. But it took me like 2 months to create it. We created it beforehand based off of a rubric that we were given that we needed to fulfill, I guess. And then so we made it. I was in a partner group, so my partner Verity, who was a senior, and we created it. And then we had an interview process where they interviewed us on how we made it, what went down with it, what it's about, making sure everything's durable on the board. And then that was our main scoring. And then we had just overall presentation of the board. We had to submit our files, showing what we did to be prepared for this. And we were graded off of that. It was a very fun event. I really enjoyed it. It really helped me realize how much things get put into making a lesson, especially for that, thinking how many objectives do I have? Do I need 1 or 2? Do I need more than that? It really was a great experience for me, and I enjoyed being there with multiple friends, and it was really great. Yes.
Hello, my name is Linda Padavena, and I competed in the crime scene investigations fire skills. This year I was in the law enforcement 1 class, and I was in a group with 2 other girls, both from Geneva, and we competed in the crime scene investigations. And how it was is so we started off with the scene, and we were given 15 minutes to investigate the scene, take pictures, measurements, collect evidence, and it was just a small room. And then we had an officer and crime scene investigator there to time us and just watch how we performed. It's a very thorough job. After that, we had a lot of time waiting in between, but we took our evidence that we collected, and then we met with some other people and looked over the evidence. For example, we took DNA sampling, so that is blood swab, any kind of DNA, and of course, it's not real evidence, but it's just we go through the process of how we figure out the blood types, and we also took fingerprints from different objects, and then after that we had a period of time where we wrote our wrote a document and collected all of our information and put it together on documents, the pictures we took, all the evidence we collected, the measurements we took, and then all 3 of us wrote a report on the entire scene, what we did, all of our steps, just a normal police report, and that was pretty much it.
All right, thank you. Next up, we will be recognizing some of our students from the crier. So, Mr. Bruno.
All right, hello everyone. I'm Dominic Bruno. So I've been teaching at Kaneland. I just finished year 18 and my 8th year running the journalism program. So journalism, the competitive aspect of it is something that a lot of people don't know. A lot of my students, when they sign up for Journalism 1, they don't realize that someday they're going to be competing at the sectional, state, and potentially even national level. which is what these kids end up earning their way to do. So not every kid who signs up for the class gets to that role. They have to compete internally within our staff. They have to earn spots on a roster. And then what happens is they compete in a very competitive sectional, where it's not like I coach varsity boys basketball too, where everything is divided by enrollment size. Journalism, there is no enrollment size. So when I say that we finish as a team second in our sectional, that means we finish second behind Downers Grove South, who's a perennial power in state journalism, but ahead of Downers Grove North and several schools that are quadruple the size of us. And really in our conference, when you look at our conference, you don't see many journalism programs, let alone ones that are competing at that level. So I always tell my kids, I'm proud of them just for getting to the level where they feel confident enough to compete, let alone to be ones who qualify for the state competition. So to qualify for state, you have to finish in the top 3 in your individual category. So the 2 I have here with me tonight, we have 6 qualified this year. 6 students qualify for 8 different positions. The 2 I have here with me tonight, Ellie Olp, she qualified in yearbook page design. To give you just an understanding of how skilled Ellie is at designing, she's not a part of the yearbook program, but there was no one to fill that spot in our school. So Ellie stepped up because of how good she is at designing the crier and competed against kids who have been doing yearbook design all year long and qualified for state. And then Audrey Noring, she qualified in newspaper design and in feature writing. So just 2 different areas that showed how diverse her skill set is, both writing and design. Both of these students are now going to be ascending in our journalism program into 3rd-year executive roles, both carrying editor-in-chief titles. So Audrey will be editor-in-chief of print, and Ellie will be editor-in-chief of multimedia, overseeing photography, podcasting, broadcasting, all that stuff. So just really skilled kids. I also want to mention the 4 who are not here. So Ivanka Iwana Wong, who actually was not part of the journalism program, but we needed somebody to compete in yearbook theme development. So I quickly, in about half an hour, explained to her what that meant. Again, I don't teach yearbooks. That is a partner. That's the only, or no, one of the 2 partner categories in the sectional contest. She was like, I don't need a partner. I'm fine. And she got 1st place in the sectional. So she absolutely incredible kid. Anna Gaps, she qualified in news radio. We do not currently have a news radio program at Kaneland. I'm working hard to develop that. But again, she competed against kids from other schools who have devoted radio programs there. But she's been a skilled podcaster. She was a multimedia editor-in-chief as well. So that's what she qualified for. Olivia Cotter won a state championship in copywriting, and then she finished in 6th place in the state in review writing. So just another incredibly skilled student. And then Faith Mashman, she qualified for yearbook caption writing. She was a back-to-back state qualifier. So really proud of those kids, proud of the whole team, because to get points in the sectional, you have to finish in the top 6. So that meant beyond those 6 students, we had several students finish in the top 6 in our 17-team sectional to allow us to get 2nd place. And 2nd place, we lost to Downers Grove South by 1. So really competitive, really proud of them. So what I'd like to make sure people understand is it's more than just making the crier, which I think is the thing that people most associate journalism with, but we're also competing beyond that. Emma Weintraub, I'll mention her also. She was our valedictorian. She was also nominated to the All-State team. I have to do that, but she has to do a bunch of work to show that she's earned it, and she's our 6th straight All-State journalist, meaning she's one of the top 15 individual journalists in Illinois. So yeah, really proud of the collective staff. They're awesome kids. You guys can come introduce yourselves too. So brag a little bit about it. Thank you.
Hi, I am Ellie Olp, and like Mr. Bruno said, I competed in journalism state finals for yearbook page design. I was a little bit surprised when I heard that I got 3rd place for the sectional, because I was not originally planned to do that. They were just missing a spot for someone in that category, and I said, okay, like I stepped up and I took that. And so when I got there and I did it, I did the time requirement and everything, and then when they read off the places, they go from 6th all the way to 1st. So when they were naming off from 6th down to 5th down to 4th, I was like, if I didn't get 6th or 5th, then I didn't place at all. And they kept going, and eventually I heard my name for 3rd, and I was just like so surprised. And I was very lucky to be able to go down to state, even though I wasn't planning on it, but it was a great experience, and I'm so glad I did that, because it really gave me a sense of like a competitive environment, in not a way that's like sports or anything, but just more personal competition that you have to kind of challenge yourself with. So that was a great experience for me. And yeah, it was great overall, and I'm so proud that we as a journalism team got to be able to do that. So.
Hi, I'm Audrey Noring. I qualified for feature writing and newspaper design. Writing is something I've always enjoyed, so I was really excited to have that option to compete, and I kind of had that in the back of my head since my journalism 1 year that might be something I want to do, is compete for writing. But then like 2 weeks before we got like our positions, like what we're gonna like compete for in state, they were like, oh, do you want to do newspaper design? And I was like I had no idea what that was, so I was like, sure, like whatever. And so I like kind of learned about it. Like I talked to like a girl who did Crier in the past who qualified, and I did like a lot of research. And I'm a very competitive person, so I kind of had to put my all in it. So I practiced a lot in feature writing and newspaper design. Like I looked at past prompts. So I practiced a lot, and I was, like I said, I'm very competitive, so I really wanted to win, or just at least make it to state, and like even my family knows, like I talked about it a lot, and then when we got our, like when we had the Zoom call, like who made it to state and stuff, I went in like my own room because I was too scared, and then I heard my name, and I was like with a few of my friends, and they like celebrated, and then I went back as a whole group, and we celebrated because we were in second place. So it was just overall a very rewarding experience. I realized I want to be like a journalist when I grow older, so it was a good experience.
All right, up next, this is a first celebration for Kaneland. So we're going to be recognizing our Seal of Biliteracy students, and Michelle Drusenko is going to come to the podium.
Good evening. As Dr. Rolwing said, this is the first year that we have offered the Seal of Biliteracy, and with the help of Mr. Kowalski, he really was instrumental in implementing the test and helping all this get going, and we couldn't have done it without him. But just a little bit about the Seal of Biliteracy, since it is the first year that we've offered this, thought you might appreciate some background knowledge here. The Illinois State Seal of Biliteracy and Commendation Towards Biliteracy are awards given to graduating high school students who've demonstrated a high level of proficiency in English and at least one other language other than English. Both the seal and commendation are officially designated on the student's transcript as well as their diploma. They got a special little seal on their diploma. These recognitions provide students with opportunities for college credit, advanced placement in college level world language coursework, and valuable advantages in an increasingly multilingual workforce. For example, at SIU Edwardsville, they can get 16 credit hours just by achieving the Seal of Biliteracy. At NIU, they get 12 credit hours for the seal and 9 for the commendation. So they're, as we well all know, that saves a lot of time and money when they're going on to college, which is crucial for all of us. Beyond academic achievement, biliteracy reflects cultural understanding, global awareness, and the ability to communicate across diverse communities, preparing them with the skills needed for continued success in the future. So we tested a total of 40 students this year. It was our first year doing it. So like, okay, we'll hit the kids that are seniors or in AP level classes or some of the heritage speakers of various languages. Out of those 40 students, 24 received the Seal of Biliteracy, which is just remarkable. 22 of those were in Spanish, 1 was in French, and 1 in Vietnamese. And then in addition to that, 15 received the commendation, which the commendation means they were just this close from earning the Seal of Biliteracy. So 39 out of the 40 of our students received either the Seal of Biliteracy or the commendation. To give you an idea of what's required, they have to take 4 tests: reading, writing, speaking, and listening in the target language. And in order to achieve the seal, they need what is considered an intermediate high level, which is the level that is required in order to become a language teacher. So basically, these kids want my job. So we do have a couple of them here tonight. Many of them had conflicts with work and whatever, and they're seniors, so they're off doing their senior thing. But we really appreciate Isa Alba and Fernando Salazar, who came in tonight so that we could celebrate them. Thank you so much for providing us with this opportunity to allow the kids to earn this seal. We appreciate it.
And I want to point out that especially in our first year, the level of pass rate is really a commendation to our world language staff, taking in those students and getting them to that level of language proficiency. So congratulations to them also, and that's such a great opportunity for our students. We did invite the chess club. Do we have any chess team? Oh, okay. We did invite the chess team. They did qualify for state this year for, I believe, the second year in a row. They played very well. So, unfortunately, we don't have any of them here. But then our last salutes this evening for the second year in a row. Kaneland brought home some awards from the Kane County Educator of the Year. So we'll start with Dominic Bruno. If you want to come back to the Mr. Bruno won the Kane County Educator of the Year for high school teachers. Mr. Bruno, as you know, is the journalism coach. He is a boys basketball varsity coach. He's had quite a year, quite a successful year all around. Beyond that, Mr. Bruno is a dynamic teacher. He is one of the most well-liked teachers. If you read some of the letters that his colleagues and students wrote about him, he is one of the people that makes Kaneland High School a truly special place. So I want to congratulate him and see if he has anything he wants to say to us.
Sure. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I've just tried to be just overthinking everybody. So I mean, the whole community. I've taught, my whole teaching career has been at Kaneland. So I just mentioned I've been here for 18 years. When I was in high school and even college, I'd never heard of Kaneland until I was at U of I in Champaign. I went to a job fair back then in the spring of 2008. It was kind of the opposite of how teaching is today, where there were just so many teachers and it was so hard to find a job. I met Dr. Jeff Schuler, who used to work in HR at Kaneland. After I'd waited very long in a line, I didn't even know where it was going, and it ended up being this guy from Kaneland. He said, "Why don't you come up north to a job fair at West Aurora next week?" So I did. I drove up and waited in another very long line and got to the front. He remembered me. I met the department chair at the time, Patty Welker, and the outgoing journalism advisor at the time, Lori Erdman, were the two people at that table. They kind of did a quick impromptu interview at that very crowded job fair, invited me in for a formal one. It's the only interview I ever did. And now 18 years later, I have not ever looked elsewhere. We live in Elburn, my own 3 kids. We're just at John Stewart this year, so we're just very committed to the entire Kaneland community. Very, very thankful for just the endless support from students, staff, administration, school board, everybody. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And the other award winner we want to recognize, I was a little confused when they announced Mr. Cleary as the winner from Batavia, because we consider him one of ours. So if you don't know Chad Cleary, he is a teacher at Batavia, but he is our cross-country coach. He is a track coach. The influence he has on the students in those programs lasts well beyond high school. As you can see, the number of students that come back and are cheering on our students that are currently competing. So I was thrilled that he won, and I wanted to invite him here. So. And by the way, he did call us out in his thank you speech.
I did call you out in the speech. Yes, I was hemming and hawing on whether I was going to go or not because we had 2 track meets that night.
Yes.
I knew I needed to be at one of them, and I was not able to be at either. I'd like to congratulate the young ladies and gentlemen who are here tonight, getting to share what you've been learning. As a Kaneland graduate myself, it's really exciting to hear about the things that you're accomplishing and that you are achieving, and that you're putting your feet forward in being able to put a path down that you are excited about, what you're going to lean into for the rest of your life. My path did start here. I'm grateful that it still continues after 31 years to be such. I'm grateful to the administration for allowing me to be able to continue to coach and teach in 2 different places. It's God's grace, and it's my joy to be able to do so. But thank you. I didn't expect to be able to come to this one as well, but it's a special thing that you guys have been accomplishing. Keep at it, because you never know when it might lead you back to a meeting like this 30+ years later, and be excited about the things that you've been able to accomplish. So congratulations to all of you, and thank you, Dr. Rowland.
I believe that's all our recognitions for the evening, but a lot of great things to celebrate, so it's a great way to end the year.
Dr. Bowman?
This evening.
Board members?
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Great job.
Thank you. Great summer.
The board appreciates everyone in attendance at this evening and invites you to stay if you are able. We move into the new business portion of the meeting. We understand that not everyone is able to stay for the entire meeting. And we wanted to make sure you know that this is an open meeting, so you're able to come and go as you need. We look forward to seeing you in future meetings. Tonight's consent agenda that contains the following information. 1, approval of the accounts payable and payroll for May 2026. 2, approval of the meeting minutes from the May 11th, 2026 regular meeting. 3, approval of personnel. 4, approval of the non-speak educational support staff salary increases and substitute/seasonal rates for 2026-2027. Approval of the Valley's salary and benefit recommendation. 6, approval of the administrative salary increase. 7, approval of the application for the ROE Safe Schools. 8, approval of rental rates for school facilities. 9, approval of insurance renewal for 2026-2027. And the informational items: Student Suspension Data Report, Freedom from Information Act report. I will now entertain a motion to approve the consent items listed.
So moved. Second.
And a roll call, please.
Mrs. Simmons.
Aye.
Mr. Cook.
Aye.
Mr. McCauley.
Aye.
Dr. Lawler.
Aye.
Mr. Stolkup.
Aye.
Mr. Mankivsky.
Aye.
Mr. Kleisner.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. The consent agenda is approved. Public comment. None?
Right.
All right, we're gonna be out here earlier.
Not you.
It is now time for the update from our committee members that met this evening: Finance and Facility and Community Engagement. Finance and Facility?
We talked through current status on expenditures, slightly up basically on capitalized items. Overall, the expenditures are on track, what we would expect. Investment income's a little bit under the projection. Transportation, the late payment that we were waiting on, we did receive. And there's a budget amendment on the agenda coming up, right? It's not on tonight?
Not on tonight, 29th.
The 29th of June. And then we have, currently our transportation budget's running at a deficit each year. And we currently have an excess in that account, but we're looking at ways to avoid spending all of the additional surplus we have on the deficit each year. So there's a few items. One is looking at auctioning buses instead of trade-in value. Jackie has an option that she's collaborated with another district on, And there's a few other things that are being looked at for that. And then the construction, we talked a little bit about, but that's a little deeper conversation already on the agenda, so.
All right, community engagement?
Yes, so we started talking a little bit more again about one form of communication systems, and we were informed tonight that we are going to be moving forward with Final Site as an app, right? I think that's right. It will be Kaneland branded. They're still working on the contract, so we've just very brief information for today. So until that is finalized, everything's signed and everything's done. So, but after that is done, next steps will be we will sync with our own systems, our own Kaneland website. There will be training, professional development for all staff that needs it, training for our parents. Cool thing about this too is our community will be able to use it. I know that's one of the things that we heard through the referendum and just trying to do all that work. Lack of being able to access information, and so there will be things like community members will be able to download this app too and see what events are going on here at Kaneland. So I do want to make it clear that this will not be replacing our learning management systems, so Canvas and Infinite Campus will continue. This is just one way, one pathway for everybody to be able to get communication out to families and students and teachers and admin and stuff like that. Sports too, and other organizations that are all a part of Kaneland. So more to come. So we'll get more into those details. But working on the contract now. So next steps will Dr. Rowling and David will share more of that information once that's finalized.
So it's a public-facing tool?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Anything else on the board? Questions? All right, under new business. The first item of new business is the approval of support staff handbooks on first reading. Dr. Bogan, if you would please provide more information.
Yes, so the board will see this come back after tonight on the June 29th as part of the consent agenda. But I do want to highlight a couple things. One, there are 3 separate handbooks here. The vast majority of the changes are grammatical in nature or providing additional detail. We found that we had areas where in the handbook it referred to a form, for example. Well, we've changed it to say exactly what that form is. Also just adding some pay updates in there, going from $15 an hour to $15.25 for training pay in an area. And then also taking out some outdated language. For instance, in the bus driver contract, it specifically referred to a Bluebird bus number 56 and number 57. We no longer have those buses. We haven't for many years. So just updating that to be reflective of what we actually have. And then on the food service handbook, the only changes that were made were the effective date and also at the bottom in the footnotes, all of what the review date. So that was the only change there. And then on the educational support staff, we did update to include the new jobs that we have in the maintenance department. So Group A and Group B, it was the maintenance department secretary and the facility campus coordinator. And then also the updated effective date. So in your memo, you do have a summary of all the language changes. It lists what handbook it's on, what page it's on, a little description, and then the actual change is highlighted to hopefully make that clear, and then a copy of the entire handbook. But that will come back as well.
Questions? Discussion? No. All right, I'll entertain a motion that the Board of Education approves the recommended changes to the bus driver, food service, and educational support staff handbook as presented in the first reading.
So moved.
Second.
And a roll call, please.
Dr. Lawler.
Aye.
Mr. Stallcup.
Aye.
Mr. Mankivsky.
Aye.
Mr. Kleisner.
Aye.
Mrs. Simmons.
Aye.
Mr. Cook.
Aye.
Mr. McCauley.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. The bus driver, food service, and educational support staff handbook is approved on first reading. The second item of new business is the approval of referendum project issuance 3 package. Dr. Bogan, if you'd please provide more information.
Yes, this is probably one of the most exciting things I think I've ever presented to this board, and I wish there were more people here to hear about this, but hopefully they're all watching at home. This bid issuance really truly marks just a huge step forward and what is going to forever change just the facilities of this district. And so I really could not be more excited about that. But this evening we do have some partners from Wold and also the Nicholas team here. Allison Andrews, Kirsta Emke, and David Torres are here. So if you have more detailed questions, we can definitely bring them forward. They're happy to come to the microphone and answer those. But we do have this laid out. There were 10 different bid packages within this issuance. The total base bid and alternates that we're recommending is approximately $73.1 million. You are provided with each bid package, who won that bid, the total amount for that individual bid package, and then also the corresponding alternates for each of those. I do want to highlight that we did have one bidder who submitted a request for withdrawal. That was Lodestro for bid package number 3 and bid package number 2. As they were missing scope of work. So Nicholas did go through all of that, vetted all of that, and then also accepted those letters. So for bid package number 3, that's going to Hargrave Builders, and then bid package number 2, that was for Monarch Construction Company in lieu of those. So we did also provide in here the bid tabulation sheet. This is also a digital copy, so it will be much easier to read in the digital form than it is here. And then just a couple other items to call out. We did, in this issuance, we listed the turf project as an alternate, and so that is included in here. The recommendation, based on discussions that we had not only as a steering committee and with the Wold team and Nicholas, but also getting lots of input from coaches, from PE, those groups, was for the Tenkate pivot. And it is a no-fill with pad system that we're excited about, definitely excited for the team to see.
And I'm sure the parents of our athletes will be excited to not have all the little crumb rubber in their students' shoes and socks and hair and all those other places. Yeah.
What questions? I know prior to this, we've shared quite a bit of information as well.
Talk to the flooring in the field house. I know there's a lot of different discussions, and I know a little bit, but for everybody's benefit.
Yep. So we are recommending as part of this that we go with one of the alternates for the flooring. We had worked, actually, I don't know, Allison, if you want to come up and help me with this one, if you can speak more to the specific flooring. So we did have 2 different options that when we spoke to different vendors about that we had looked at. And actually, Dave, I know you're installing one of these floors right now, so you also probably can speak to this. So when I miss everything, then fill it in. But we did look at the standard flooring that everyone is putting in. There was an upgraded version of the track surface that was a slight additional cost, but it was about $1 per square foot to add that. And so we are recommending the total alternate is approximately $51,000, and it's, I can't remember the name of it. It's PX.
It's like an EI, I think,
yeah.
actually, but it's what was used in the Paris Olympics. We're actually doing an install down the way at Manuka, so it's pretty exciting to be able to have the opportunity to move forward with that product.
Yeah, we had the manufacturer came in and presented a handful of options to not only our teams, but a number of the coaches that were able to be there as a part of that. And based on just the performance data that they were able to share, I think the coaches had a lot of experience with some of these different flooring products, certainly weighed in on what they would love to see based on how it performs for their students in different locations, but obviously wanting to be conscientious of a lot of times those better, higher performing floors come at a cost. We made the decision of putting in what we felt like was an appropriate product for the base bid, but if the dollars would allow for it to go with this kind of higher performing floor, we wanted to be able to have the board and the district make that as an informed decision based on those final costs as well. And I think the turnout that we received for bidding and all of that, and ultimately the price that came in, was certainly a tough one to pass up. So I think they're really excited about the opportunity to be able to have that floor and be able to compete at that level. So.
And maybe I get a lot of questions about turf as well. Maybe describe the turf. I sat in on some of those meetings, but describe the turf that we selected.
Sure. So the turf that we actually selected is different than a lot of the products out there, and I think probably one of the most exciting things is it's what's called the no-fill system. So most of the turf systems, right, it has sometimes some sort of pad, and then there's like the actual turf piece, right, like the fake grass that's sewn into a backing and then it sticks up. Well, in order to get it to stick up, they put some type of fill in it, and usually it's crumb rubber, right? It's like that pulverized little tiny pieces of black rubber that you see everywhere, like sort of pellet form. Mm-hmm. And that's what helps, the actual turf fibers stand up, give traction, all of that. This system has a pad, has all of those fibers, but they are so densely sewn in, packed in, that you don't need that fill. And so, that, I think, from just like an environmental standpoint, a maintenance standpoint, not having to constantly purchase additional fill for that, not having it wind up in everyone's shoes for the next 3 years, all over the track, all of those reasons, that was the difference. Because of where bids came in for costs, it was $1,000 more total than the other system that we were looking at. So there wasn't really a price difference to set that apart. But there's very little maintenance on that because you don't have to fill. There is a groomer that is part of that bid that we're getting a piece of equipment. But we've also got a leaf blower, so there's not too much. I don't know if you want to
Well,
add
I think
anything.
one of the other things that drew us to it, it does have a 12-year warranty, which is a little longer than the other products that we looked at. And it's between the flooring on the track in the field house and the turf that we are selecting, it gives us the opportunity to give our kids what we think is the top of the line, without obviously breaking the bank. We're still under budget on the bids, and we're able to, some of the feedback we got when we were out doing promoting not I didn't promote, I informed people about the referendum, was that they felt like we were always taking the cheap option, that we were always doing the bare minimum, that we were always cutting corners, and I think this is an opportunity for us to we will be the first high school north of I-80 to have the no-fill turf system. So, that to me, that's very exciting to share with our community, with our students that have for a long time felt like their facilities lacked significantly. So,
I think the only thing I would add, just from the awareness standpoint, is we went through the same process where we brought in multiple manufacturers, different. I think we looked at 4 different manufacturers, and they, provided us information on a variety of what they could offer, so that, again, really making an informed decision, and we're able to cost out a number of them as alternates, so that it really came down to, what would be that highest, best performance and best opportunity then for students, knowing the use that this field can and will get, having the limited to no maintenance certainly helps in the transition times between one practice to another, or to, marching band, that was one of I think the comments on with a lot of that crumb rubber, that when you see a marching band out there, because there's a lot of stepping in a same spot, that, you always see the disbursement of that crumb rubber in those high, activity areas between the hash marks where you're hiking the football, things like that, where this product will be one that you won't have those same, issues when it comes to a maintenance standpoint.
Anything further from the board on this matter? Questions? All right.
Yeah. So right now, a lot of this work that we're talking about is set for the summer of '27. We will, the one piece that is really more forefront in this issuance that'll be starting soon would be the field house, which I don't know if you guys were aware, I did a groundbreaking on the other day on what was a beautiful May day that was 42 degrees. But we're still working through some of the drainage pieces. We're hoping to be breaking ground in the next month on the field house. The stadium, I do get a lot of questions on the stadium schedule. The stadium is not being touched this year. We will play the fall sports in the stadium. We will start our spring sports with the stadium following the Peterson Prep, which is the large track invite that we host, one of the largest in Illinois. We will then shut down the stadium and begin construction in earnest.
Yeah, really quick, we're doing everything in our power to protect the track.
Yes.
While this is all going on.
We've had a number of conversations
Okay.
around track protection.
That's a hot button issue.
So I'm aware.
Raise on me.
I'm aware.
I like walking on that $1 track.
So yeah, it is a little unconventional, but it's definitely been done. We had almost an entire meeting set aside to talk about how we could accomplish that.
Last thing, that damage, then have
Yeah.
this from sad and give it
There's a whole
Okay, all right, cool.
temporary bridge system in place. Yes. Mr. Torres has pulled that off before.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Anything else? I'll entertain a motion that the Board of Education approves the award of bid packages number 1 through number 10, including alternates 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 6, 7, and 13 for project issuance number 3, in the total amount of $73,105,943.
So moved.
Consistent with the May 2026 letter of recommendation provided by Nicholas and Associates.
So moved.
Second.
And a roll call, please.
Mr. Stalka?
Aye.
Dr. Lawler?
Aye.
Mr. Kleisner?
Aye.
Mrs. Simmons?
Aye.
Mr. Cook?
Aye.
Mr. McCauley?
Aye.
Mr. Mankowski?
Aye. Motion carries 7-0. The bid package for project issuance 3 is approved in the total amount of $73,105,943 is approved.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes. The third item of new business is a resolution providing for the issuance of not to exceed $6,500,000 taxable general obligation refunding school bonds, Series 2026A, and not to exceed $92 million general obligation school bonds, Series 2026B, for the purposes of paying certain costs for those capital projects approved by referendum at the April 1st, 2025 consolidated election, and refunding certain outstanding obligations of the district, authorizing and directing the execution of an escrow agreement providing for the levy of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay the principal and interest on said bonds, and authorizing the proposed sale of said bonds to the purchaser thereof.
That's the longest recommendation
Go
we've
Knights.
ever had.
Do we adjourn?
So
moved.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? And the taxable, let me get this, the taxable general obligation is because it's a refunding as
So,
opposed to, and the first one was tax exempt, right?
so couple things here. So one, thank you for, I apologize for such a long
No,
title
no,
on the
it's-
option. President Mankivsky, so that is the legal requirement, and so we've met that. And so we are required to put on the agenda exactly what the bond resolution is. And so we work very closely with Chapman and Cutler, our bond counsel, to make sure that that is written in the legally required way. The great thing about it is that it really does explain the entire memo and the bond resolution that is many, many pages long before you. But this is in two parts, right? We're doing it in two parts because there is a portion of the bonds that we are refinancing. So that's the first part. And then the second part of it, the 92 million, is for basically it's going to authorize the execution of that escrow agreement. It also authorizes us to be able to levy for annual taxes to repay those bonds, and also the sale of the bonds to the purchaser. So that's why it's broken out into two parts, because it's you're correct, the refinancing portion, and then also everything related to the sale of the bonds related to these capital projects, which you just approved in bid issuance 3.
So the 92 million general GO bonds,
Yep.
school bonds, those are tax exempt, correct?
I will get confirmation. I don't want to say something
Okay.
incorrectly,
No, okay.
but I will get that answer to you.
Yeah, I mean, I get the 6.5 million refunding, which, you know, I guess because it is a refund, so it's a taxable bond, taxable interest, as opposed to tax exempt, to refund a tax exempt bond. Correct?
I will get you the exact answer, but
All right, no.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I just, yeah. All right. Now the motion.
It's almost just as long.
I know. I will entertain a motion that the Board of Education approves a resolution providing for the issuance of not to exceed $6,500,000 taxable general obligation refunding school bonds, Series 2026A, and not to exceed 92 million general obligation school bonds, Series 2026B, for the purposes of paying certain costs of those capital projects approved by referendum at the April 1st, 2025 consolidated election, and refunding certain outstanding obligations of the district, authorizing and directing the execution of an escrow agreement, providing for the levy of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay the principal and interest on said bonds, and authorizing the proposed sale of said bonds to the purchaser thereof.
So moved.
Second.
And a roll call, please.
Mr. Mankivsky.
Aye.
Mr. Stolpa.
Aye.
Dr. Lawler.
Aye.
Mr. Kleisner.
Aye.
Mrs. Simmons.
Aye.
Mr. Cook.
Aye.
Mr. McCauley.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. The resolution is approved. The fourth item of new business is the approval of secondary literary curriculum tools for 2026-2027. Dr. Rowland, if you please provide more information.
I'm going to hand this one off to Dr. Horn.
Good evening. As part of an ongoing cycle, Department of Teaching and Learning reviews curriculum from specific departments, grade levels, etc. At the May 11th board meeting, I brought forward the outcome of some of those review cycles. It was K-5 exploratories, AP, dual credit, and other newly created classes at the high school. At that time, I did allude to a new curricular tool that I would potentially be moving forward, and that is No Red Ink. Tonight, I am here to do just that and move forward with a recommendation for no red ink.
You gotta move forward.
I click it to on, apparently. It's a very complicated tool here. Okay. So some things to consider. The part of the reason why it took a little bit more time to get the recommendation for no red ink is the thorough process that we followed. A committee consisting of 6 through 12 ELA teachers. We did expand this to also include special education representation, MTSS interventionists, as well as instructional coaches, and of course, building and district level admin. Reviewed 10 platforms that best align with our instructional priorities and the district needs. From that, there were 2 that emerged. No red ink went to pilot. No red ink was found by the members of the review committee to be the tool that best aligned with authentic writing instruction, allowed for feedback, revision, and college and career readiness writing that we see as far as the need within our students. The platform also aligns well with the types of writing and revisions students encounter on the IAR, ACT, and the Advanced Placement Assessment. Looking at this particular tool, it is used nationwide by what is reported to us as 60% of districts. Locally, it is used by 203, 204, 304, 211, and U46. We are recommending the adoption of this tool. It is specifically for writing, both at Harder Middle School and at the high school. It is an online platform. We are recommending a 6-year purchase for a total not to exceed $125,000. We have been negotiating pretty consistently with every company we're moving forward. Currently, the number is closer to $115,000. The reason why we have the not to exceed $125,000 is to ensure that we're following the guidance that Dr. Rowling has given us, and not just ensuring that our students have a guaranteed viable curriculum, that we are selecting top tools with collaboration of our teachers, but more importantly, that our teachers are getting that necessary professional development. That professional development, we are bringing in outside experts to come in and work with our teachers. There's a cost associated with it. We're ironing out some of the details aligned with it. That $125,000 that we set as a cap is below budget for what we set aside for secondary literacy. Secondary literacy was set at $300,000. This allows us to continue to work with our teachers to look at some potential reading material that may be needed moving forward, or, of course, what is always going to make Dr. Bogan happy, some potential savings down the line. We do know we have a heavy lift next year because we will be moving forward with a new tool for elementary literacy. Those tools tend to be a little bit more expensive than the secondary literacy stuff. This recommendation, if approved by the Board of Education, does allow for us to have it on display for anybody in the community to view for the next 30 days, and allows us to purchase it at the start of the next fiscal year. So the recommendation I bring before you is for purchase of no red ink for the next 6 years at a cost not to exceed $125,000. This time, can I answer any questions the board may have?
Does this have the tools that help students identify and focus on their areas of weakness?
Yes.
Say case, or
Yeah, so that is actually yes, because it is part of the feedback tool that the teachers are using to give specific individualized feedback to the students. It does utilize some AI technology in order to identify that. And I know that always gets a little bit sticky when we're talking about writing, because we want to encourage our students to actually be doing the writing themselves.
Right.
But what it does is allow teachers tools to access trends to cut down on their workload so they could focus on that one-on-one conversation that they're having with the students. As a former English teacher, I can tell you a tremendous amount of time has been spent reading through and trying to do that. But to have the tool to notice that run-on sentences because of misuse of conjunctions is a trend that you're noticing within that particular student, then you're able to find groups of students through the technology that's embedded with it, and then you've identified a group of 6 that you're able to do some small group with while the other students are working on something else.
And it provides feedback to the student directly or via the teacher?
The feedback goes through the teacher. So we never want to lose the teacher's fingers in what they're doing with their students. It also allows for archiving of the student data through portfolios so we can track how the students are doing as they progress through our system.
Does it allow for calibration on the part of teachers on where their students are?
Yes, because
or an acceptable written expression.
Correct.
Given their level.
Yes.
Because I remember, up at Dundee Kaneland, we meet twice a year for a calibration meeting.
Right. And then those calibration meetings happen. They exist within our structure. We work with teachers, with our instructional coaches to get together and calibrate what rubrics look like. It's happening during KLC time at the high school, within English 9, English 10, what have you. This would allow teachers access to student data to make better calibration decisions.
Any other questions?
You mentioned it was under budget. How much was the proposed budget for this?
For this line item on our budget was $300,000.
It would be good as we get these to list the budget code, the budget amount requested, the variance, just as it comes across, so we see it's right out there.
Yep, we can make that adjustment.
Yeah, just on anything going forward.
Yep.
Just a comment, not a question, but I do appreciate that it's got the alignment with IAR, ACT, and AP, especially as we're using those scores continually to see how we're doing. It's good to see that this tool will be aligned with that.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
That was a significant factor that was looked at while we were vetting the tools.
I do have a question. You're investigating K5. I gotta make up for a little earlier. When you're looking for the K5 tools, are you going to be able to find one you think that will help align with this tool then? Because I like that it's got a 611 tool. It'd be
Yes.
great if we had like a K11, like kind of like a trajectory, right? So
Yeah, it does look a little bit different because this is a companion for students that are already writing.
Sure.
At the K5 level, you're introducing the craft of writing. So it is, this No Red Ink is designed for the secondary level, but certainly within the platform of the providers, we would be investigating. We've already identified the 2 groups that would, or the 2 platforms that we'd be looking into, and No Red Ink was already on our mind when we were making those decisions.
And I think it's important to note that the way we're doing curriculum adoptions moving forward, starting this year, is K-12.
Yeah.
So while we may not pick the same tool based on the level, that alignment, those conversations are happening so that we're ensuring that there is continuity.
Part of the review cycle, for the most part, secondary teachers are talking with secondary teachers, but there are times throughout the process that K-12 is having the conversation.
Great to hear. Thank you.
I just want to make one point about the budget request. I think sometimes with new adoption or things coming out of teaching and learning, it's a little bit tricky this time of year because we have not presented yet the tentative budget to the board, but we know that there's items that are earmarked. So we definitely can include that information. Just know that in the springtime, when some of these things are presented, you may already then see a change from that budget, from what was presented in the spring for a particular line to tentative and then even to final sometimes. So we'll add that information, but we'll do it with a, hey, this is one we're gonna star because you saw it in the spring, it was not even tentative, right? We knew that we had a purchase that we're going to include in the next year's budget. However, that budget has not been finalized.
Right, and I think that we can have some conversation as a cabinet about how to reflect the, the actual request, where it's coming from in the budget, and what that at least tentative might look like. So let us do a little bit of work on what the board memo might look like to reflect some of those things.
Yeah.
Anyone else? I will entertain a motion that the Board of Education adopts the secondary literacy curriculum, no reading, for an amount not to exceed $125,000.
So moved.
Second.
And a roll call, please.
Mr. Mankowski.
Aye.
Mr. Sulkup.
Aye.
Dr. Lawler.
Aye.
Mr. Kleisner.
Aye.
Mrs. Simmons.
Aye.
Mr. Cook.
Aye.
Mr. McCauley.
Aye.
Mr. Mankowski, I already got you.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
The fifth item of new business is a construction update. Dr. Rowling, if you please provide more information.
Well, we've talked a little bit of construction today, and so I do want to give you, the board, a little bit of update. Obviously, the board did take action tonight to accept the bids on bid issuance 3, as Dr. Bogan identified. A huge milestone in this process, and this represents the kind of work that's going to change the face of the community. So we're very excited about that. We did have groundbreaking ceremonies for all of our major 2026 projects. They were all fun. I will tell you, you haven't had a great time until you told elementary students that they were getting a zip line and they just lose their minds. So it's it was a lot of fun to do that. Those are really, anytime we can involve the students, I think is a great opportunity. Fencing and safety prep is happening at all of our major construction sites. So if you go by the schools, if you go by the high school, KMAC, where we're doing the maintenance building, there is also fencing and some safety prep going on at Blackberry Creek and McDowell, where we're doing new carpet. So that's, it's probably not exciting, but for me it's exciting because that means we're getting close to doing a lot of things. Demolition work has begun at Kaneland High School, so we are shutting down hallways and getting underway there. It looks eerily empty, even for a summer, it looks eerily empty. And at some of our playgrounds. So I was able to swing by Shields the other day, and they had already taken out a bunch of the old equipment, and so that's exciting to see as we move forward on that. We will be completing the following tasks in the near future. We approved this evening, the board approved a second bond sale near the end of June. We are going to be monitoring and communicating progress on summer 2026 projects. Look forward to some short videos featuring myself, and if I can convince her, Dr. Bogan. And we are continuing to plan for bid issuance number 4, which will be the last bid issuance, comprising science, CTE, and a few other spaces around the high school. Any questions? We will be providing, like I said, we will be providing regular updates through the weekly update, but also through our communication channels. Mr. Chavez has a rigorous video schedule for me for the summer, and really trying to not just keep people informed, but celebrate the work that's being done. So,
All right, there's no action necessary for the construction update. It is now time for superintendent/board report. Dr. Rowling, do you have anything to share?
I do. So a couple of successes. Congratulations to Peyton Haywood, Amani Meeks, Kayla Scholes, Delaney Barron, and Grace Moreno for qualifying for the IHSA State Girls Track Meet that was held last weekend. Delaney Barron did earn a 6th place, making her an all-state pole vaulter. So great performance by her. This is going to be a long one, so buckle up. Congratulations to the boys track team for finishing 2nd at sectionals and sending the 2nd highest number of athletes to the state tournament in school history. We qualified in 14 out of 18 events. So here's who we got. In long jump, Griffin Seaton. In triple jump, Griffin Seaton. Pole vault, we have Rocky Phillips and Trevor Meager. High jump, we have Evan Ope. Shot put Brandon Lewis, who's a freshman, by the way. Our 4x8 relay team of Evan Wilden, Nathan Kowalczyk, Gavin Schnersling, and Joey Shu. 4x100 of Colton Van Dyke, Jackson Borch, Noah Cornell, and Ben Carl. In the 100, we have Jackson Borch. In the 110-meter high hurdles, we have Brady Mittman. In the 800, we have Gavin Smith. In the 4x200 relay, Colton Van Dyke, Jackson Borch, Noah Cornell, and Ben Carl. In the 1600, Evan Wilden and Gavin Schneerstein. In the 200, Ben Carl. And the 4x400, Colton Van Dyke, Joey Shu, Jackson Borch, and Gavin Smith. So we got the big bus going down state. I believe they leave tomorrow morning for state, and Coach Clary will be joining them as he coaches our distance runners. So that's a lot of exciting things to follow. Congratulations to softball. They won the regional on Saturday, and then this evening I just found out that they beat Woodstock North 7-4 to advance to the sectional finals. They will play Friday at 4:30. I'm not sure who, but probably not someone as good as us, so go Knights. Another exciting, this year, Kaneland High School MET program, which is our mechanical engineering pathway, set a new record for students earning OSHA certifications through their coursework. This year, 31 students earned at least one OSHA certification, which will make them more prepared and marketable as they begin their career in the trades. So these are industry certifications that allow them quicker access to the job site. So great job to those students and Mr. Barron for helping to prepare them. And then finally, I did leave at the table a strategic plan update for the board, draft 3, an update on the process. We did have a discussion at the board table at the last meeting. We then had a follow-up stakeholder committee meeting where we got additional feedback. Following that, we took that feedback and created the draft 3, which is in front of you. We met as an admin team yesterday to start the process of putting tasks to the goals. We'll have additional discussion at our ad team retreat tomorrow. I'll take all that feedback and start to sketch out tasks to the goals. So my goal would be to get the board something in the next week or so. I am moving in the next week or so, so a little bit of grace on time would be fun for me. But we will be working diligently on getting that to the board for review. I did have a recommendation by a board member in a conversation that the board will have that for review for the month of June. The goal would be to have the board approve it at the board meeting on June 29th. So the recommendation was possibly identifying 2 board members, just like we've done in the past for a number of other projects, to sit down with me and wordsmith things. I haven't heard any pushback or feedback from the board or the stakeholder committee on the content of the plan, but more so verbiage. Quite honestly, like when you start getting to verbiage, having 3 people is usually more productive than having 30 people. So I don't know if that's something the board would want to do, and if so, who would be interested in doing that. But if you have any questions, comments, or thoughts on that.
It's a good idea. I'm happy to help, but if you don't want me to, that's also fine.
If you want to, maybe if you're interested, reach out to President Mankivsky, and it is the board president's purview to assign committees and ad hoc committees. So if you want to reach out to him with interest, then he can identify those people and we can move forward. And then I can provide additional updates to the board through the Friday updates. Always happy to sit down or talk via phone with any board member as you review that. Okay. That's all I got.
Just 2 things. One, I do want to confirm the question you asked earlier with regards to the bonds. The $92 million are tax exempt, but the $6.5 million is taxable because they are refunding, and you can't refund. You can't tax exempt on tax exempt. So that is confirmed. And then number 2, I just wanted to highlight, Mr. Chavez has put together a really exciting social media campaign, and recently has just shared a lot of great photos, not only of the groundbreakings, but also of the playground work that's already underway. So I just really want to highlight, if you haven't seen those on social media, please go check out our social media pages. But also for anyone watching at home, for the public, it's just a great way to see really in almost real time what's happening on the site. So definitely make sure, if you don't follow us on social media, that you continue to do that, because he's putting up lots of great content, especially as people are sort of away and on vacations for the summer. So that's all I have.
Board members?
Yeah, I can give a qualitative report. We see all the high schoolers and middle schoolers and elementary schoolers' success here at board meetings, but I just want to talk about what happens after that. My peers are just graduating college now, and the Kaneland graduates do significantly better than a lot of other groups I know. I see every friend I talk to that went to Kaneland for some time or graduated from Kaneland seems to be doing phenomenal, and they go out in the real world. They just graduated college here 2 weeks ago or so. They're getting jobs, getting well-paying jobs, going to great grad schools, and doing very well. So they do incredible work outside Kaneland when they leave, and just want to tell you guys that everyone's going to be all right in that circumstance.
That's great.
Great to hear.
You're nominated to the alumni committee.
Any other board members? All right, are there any topics for future agenda that the board would like to discuss?
I have
Mr.
one.
Waller?
It's kind of a long
Dr.
one, so I can kick it to next meeting if you'd rather, or I can do it now.
I've done one all night long.
So, we're reading this book of Obanzi about resilience, and it just made me think about us. We used to get this presentation, I'm looking for somebody who used to be here, Chris. We used to get this presentation where we would have the social workers come in and talk about bullying and bullying practices and like just our strategies to do that, right? And I was thinking, we haven't done that in a really long time, so it'd be good to have that happen again at some point. And then just to add to that though, we always focus so much on like the behavior of the bully, and this book we're reading talks about what's the behavior of the bully, right? So like how do they persevere through bullying? And so I was wondering, like, do we have that kind of training too for our kids, right? Do we work on like resilience, and not to victim blame, so anybody at home's like, oh, Lawler likes the victim. No, but just to say that, like, okay, you get bullied, like, what do you do with it, right? Like, do you just like let it eat you up, or do you like fight back emotionally? So anyways, just my thoughts based on a book we're reading on Bonzi. Yeah. If board members are interested.
Consensus.
Oh, 100%, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love to do that. I want to point out that most of our social workers and staff that work with that is not here for the summer.
Yeah.
So we'll put it on for the fall.
Yeah.
No, you know what Dragon meant.
They'd love it.
That was Kleister.
I have one. I saw something this week where the Surgeon General said that the screen time is actually hurting kids, and I'd like to see or discuss how we can go about reducing screen time and minimizing that. You know, I see it. I think it's a problem. We turn ours off when the kids get home. I've even threatened my kids that they're going to go back to paper and pencil. So I'd just like to talk through that a little bit, what we can do, as a district to have those conversations and maybe curb that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's difficult.
They kind of go hand in hand. Actually,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And to that point, I think we need to take a look and update the athletic code. I don't think we've done it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Lawler, but since either one of us have been here,
Yeah.
I think it needs to be updated
Sure.
just to that point, because I've seen what the athletic code was in other districts, we have room for improvement.
What does that have to do with screen time?
Sorry?
That would be a third one, right?
That would be, I'm sorry?
Another topic, right? Is
That'd be another,
Yeah.
I thought we had, I'm sorry,
Yes.
I meant.
Yes.
Well, it's,
I will tell you, that's a conversation we've already had as an administration, in terms of revising, reviewing, and so I think that we would likely be able to bring some, draft changes forward at some point this summer. Sounds good.
As, I think the board would like to have some input. I think it's time.
Yeah, absolutely. I also, maybe not an agenda item, but just talking about it with KEA, building a structure, building guidelines for how educators use AI to grade work. I've seen in colleges now they're teaching how to grade certain ways, and there's an epidemic of teachers just throwing essays into ChatGPT and like grade this and like see how it comes out. So I'm not saying that using AI to grade is bad, like in general, but just building a structure, building guidelines, like how to properly use it, and that's not necessarily an agenda item, but just talking to the KEA about it.
And at the same time, how we use AI in the classroom to identify areas that need improvement.
Like,
Well,
like we were just talking about, right? I mean, that I think is a prime example of AI working wonderfully for a teacher to help keep track of the trends. Versus trying to go back and read 5 different pages for Billy, or papers from Billy, to see, okay, what are the trends? And you said you did manually, I'm sure, for many, many years. So I think there's...
And how students learn from it to improve, as opposed to just, here, ChatGPT, take it.
Right.
You might do my dissertation, type of thing.
But to that end, I think we also need to be educated on the AI platform or platforms, which one they're using, and is it a personal one, a corporate one, because we are getting into it drastically in work, and I can tell you that if you just put something in ChatGPT, it is not private. Regardless what you think, it is not private. You have to pay a subscription to have any privacy to it. So as we're being educated at work, it's something we should look at as well.
Yeah, student names, student data, all
Yeah.
that stuff should not be in there, right? Yeah.
Good topic.
All right. Yes? All right. Yeah.
Next meeting.
It's gonna be a long one in June.
It's summertime.
Order food.
Yeah. Any other topics?
No.
It is now time for the second round of public comment. Bless you. The Board of Education is scheduled for a closed session where there will be no action taken following the session. Therefore, after the vote to go into closed session, the recording of tonight's meeting will be concluded. I will entertain a motion to go into closed session to discuss section 2 sub C sub 1 at 8:23 p.m.
So moved.
And a roll call, please.
Mr. Kleisner.
Aye.
Mrs. Simmons.
Aye.
Mr. Cook.
Aye.
Dr. Lawler.
Aye.
Mr. Stalcup.
Aye.
Mr. McCauley.
Aye.
Mr. Mankivsky.
Aye. Motion carries 7-0. We are adjourned. And